Aurora and Arthur Petrova, Sunday with the Horvat parents. At 18 Harrow Way, the morning mist is cold as the story of the Petrovas begins to be told. The house is on borrowed time, for the landlord wants to sell. Yet Petar, in blue glasses, handles the news quite well. He dons his smart attire, his short hair neat and tight, while the kettle screams a warning of the coming Sunday light. Zdravete, he calls out, a greeting warm and clear, as the 5th of November brings a sense of joyful fear. The kitchen is a treasure chest of ornaments and pride, with Bulgarian Troyan pottery where the ancient spirits hide. Maria wears her orange glasses, bright as autumn leaves, and a vibrant orange sweater with long and cozy sleeves. She wears this citrus color to conceal a childhood scar, a reminder of a kettle's heat that's traveled very far. Dobre utro, she whispers, her long black hair aflow. As the initial morning shadows begin to ebb and go, she assesses the itinerary for their busy Sunday quest, wishing for a day where their patience isn't pressed. The house feels spacious, albeit filled with many things, as the radiator rattles and the plumbing softly sings. Aunt Sasha, 44 and a half, is Maria's older kin, arriving from Sofia, Bulgaria, with a wide and weary grin. Beside her stands Uncle Beely, 50 and a half years old, ready for an 8-day stay as the family plans unfold. They've flown across the continent to visit for a week, +1 to witness Essex fireworks and join in all the fun. 8 days exactly. Sasha chirps, unpacking with a flourish, with Bulgarian treats and stories that the Petrova hearts will nourish. The house is full and bustling, a cacophony of sound, as the Bulgarian connection makes the battle walls profound. Aurora, aged 11, adjusts her glasses of pink. She's loquacious and vocal. She says just what she'll think. Her pigtails are fastened with clips that match her frames, as she recalls the Romford life and all her former games. She shuns the healthy cereal for a savory morning toast, with baked beans piled high, the meal she loves the most. The white bread is toasted to a crisp and golden hue, a simple, starchy comfort that helps her see the Sunday through. This is proper nosh, she says, her vocabulary vast, hoping that this peaceful morning is a thing that's built to last. But Arthur is the antithesis, a whirlwind in the room, a green-spectacled firecracker poised to go off. Boom. He's virtually 10, though he's officially just 9, and he's prone to erratic outbursts that cross every line. He stirs a bowl of porridge, thick and steaming hot, with a viscous glob of honey placed precisely on the spot. It's like liquid gold, he cries, with a frantic, messy glee, as the sweet and sticky nectar drips down for all to see. I'm homeschooled, Arthur shouts, his green frames on his nose, as he dances round the table on his energetic toes. Harlow the Dalmatian, with spots of obsidian black, and Kiev the ginger tabby with a stripe along his back, observe the kitchen chaos with a most superior air, communicating formally from their rug beside the stair. The atmosphere, says Harlow, is deteriorating fast. I fear this morning's silence was too beautiful to last. Indeed, purrs Kiev, licking a ginger-colored paw, the children's bickering is the most relentless thing I saw. It's a dire situation, a peril to our peace. I wish this loquacious noise would finally just cease. The black BMW 3 Series sits sleekly on the drive, as the family Sunday plans begin to truly come alive. But a dispute erupts by the car's polished door, a relentless disagreement they've had many times before. Aurora wants her mummy to sit in the back today. Maria, sit beside me, she insists in every way. Petar tries to intervene, to facilitate a truce, but the stubbornness of children is of very little use. Out of the question, he declares, his patience on the wane, as the gray Chelmsford clouds start to leak a little rain. Maria, ever lenient, decides to just give in, lest the morning's petty squabble turn to truly loud din. Dobre, I will sit with you, she says with a soft sigh, as the family's departure time goes galloping on by. The car is an automatic, a superior kind of ride, yet the tension in the cabin is impossible to hide. They are late for the bridge church, a notorious mistake, as the tires on the tarmac make a slithering kind of snake. Step on it, Petar, Aurora cries from the rear, while Arthur makes a face that is anything but dear. They arrive in Harlow town where the church building stands, met by Uncle Beely and his warm, welcoming hands. He's enjoying the fresh Essex air, crisp and biting cold, as the stories of their Sophia flight are once again retold. Zdravy, Petar. Beely laughs, a boisterous, booming sound, as they stand upon the hallowed, Essex-scented ground. The diversity is grand here, a tapestry of souls, as the Sunday morning itinerary finally unfolds. The black BMW glints under the gray, heavy sky, as the congregants of Harlow go shuffling slowly by. Inside the church, they meet the twins, Mary Hannah and Ruby, who are 22 and stylish, anything but booby. They are black American sisters, full of grace and light, whose presence makes the foyer feel remarkably bright. Mary Ruby wears her glasses with a sophisticated flair, while Mary Hannah's laughter rings through the holy air. Welcome, they exclaim with a dualistic charm, as they lead the Petrova children by the hand and by the arm. The explorers class is waiting for the children to engage in a lesson that is perfect for their current growth and age. In the classroom, Aurora is a paragon of grace, with a look of deep concentration upon her focused face. She helps Alicia Adebayo, whose work was slightly slow, demonstrating kindness that is wonderful to know. Here, let me assist you, Aurora says with a smile. Her exemplary behavior makes the teacher's work worthwhile. She explains the complex metaphors with a gentle, patient tone, ensuring Alicia doesn't feel confused or all alone. Aurora's pink glasses sparkle as she points toward the page, a benevolent young mentor at a very tender age. But across the room, the atmosphere begins to deteriorate as Arthur starts to manifest a truly hostile state. He is resistant to the lesson, a fish out of water there, with a look of petulant defiance and a wild, unruly stare. Arthur's conduct is atrocious. He's a demon in a tie, as he lets a naughty swear word go floating through the sky. The air is thick with tension as the foul word leaves his lips, as the anchor of his self-control eventually just slips. He mimics the instructor with an infantile display, scribbling on his paper in a most appalling way. Then, with intentional malice, he reaches for a sheet and rips Aurora's drawing until the damage is complete. R-R-R-R-R-I-P goes the paper, a catastrophic sound, as the scraps of Aurora's effort go fluttering to the ground. He is incensed and irate, a whirlwind of pure spite, turning a peaceful morning into a petty playground fight. I hate this, he bellows, his face a shade of red, as the spirit of the lesson quickly flees from his head. He seeks to exacerbate the sadness of the room, casting a heavy shadow of predictable, childish gloom. Ella Sharp, the teacher, must quickly intervene to remove this little rebel from the Sunday morning scene. Arthur, your behavior is substandard and severe. You must vacate this classroom and leave your sister here. She takes him by the shoulder, her expression very stern, for Arthur has a lesson that he's reluctant to learn. He is led to his parents, his head hanging low, while the rest of the explorers watch the little traitor go. Aurora is inconsolable, reduced to bitter tears, as her hard work disappears, along with all her cheers. To make matters worse, a game is soon begun, a parachute of colors to provide a bit of fun. Mary Ruby holds the edge, her glasses gleaming bright, as the fabric ripples upward like a giant neon kite. Aurora joins the circle, though her heart is heavy still, trying to find some joy with a truly stubborn will. "Lift it high," cries Ruby, as the sibilant silk sighs, underneath the vaulted ceiling and the children's happy eyes. But Arthur is excluded, a sanction most severe, watching from the hallway where the parents all appear. Mary Hannah holds the other side with a joyful, radiant grin, as the children duck and dive, letting the air rush in. It's an exclusive moment that Arthur has forfeit, and he resents the irony of being forced to sit. He watches through the glass, a pariah in the hall, feeling very tiny and remarkably small. "I object to this," he mutters, though his words fall on deaf ears, as the laughter of the others exacerbates his fears. The game is the ultimate test of his self-control, as the bitter sting of jealousy takes a heavy toll. The journey home is silent, a heavy, dark cloud, as Petar's disappointment is remarkably loud. "Arthur, you are disqualified from the Sunday feast, for your behavior was the conduct of a little beast." The car hums through the streets of Chelmsford, sleek and fast, as the consequences of his actions are delivered at last. "You'll sit in your room while we enjoy our lunch," Petar says, with a finality that packs a visceral punch. The BMW turns into the drive of Haraway, marking the abysmal end to Arthur's Sunday play. The order is placed for Domino's, a barbecue chicken prize, a margarita too, before Aurora's ecstatic eyes, and a Hawaiian pizza with pineapple and ham, while Arthur feels as useless as a broken, rusted dam. Maria sets the table with a meticulous hand, while the scent of melted cheese fills the Badau land. The kitchen is a haven of savory, salty steam, the fulfillment of a hungry child's midday dream. "Arthur, go upstairs," Maria says with a heavy heart, "for you have no place here, having played a naughty part." At 18 Haraway, Arthur sits alone, in a room where his frustration is very clearly shown. This is the guest room where Sasha and Billy stay, serving as Arthur's prison on this dark and dreary day. He is provided with bread and butter, devoid of any spice, a monotonous meal that isn't very nice. He listens to the laughter from the floor down below, as his feelings of resentment begin to ebb and grow. "It's not fair," he whispers to the silent, empty walls, as the shadow of his punishment like a heavy curtain falls. Aunt Sasha peeks inside, her heart feeling quite soft, as the scent of baking pizza goes drifting up aloft. "Arthur," she whispers, "why must you instigate a fight? You've thwarted your own chances of a happy Sunday night." She reminds him of their visit, their 8-day Bulgarian stay, and how he shouldn't waste a single precious holiday. "I'm sorry," Arthur mumbles, his voice a tiny squeak, as a solitary tear goes rolling down his cheek. "You must reconsider your choices," Sasha says with care, leaving him alone in the silent, still air. Downstairs, the atmosphere begins to slowly shift as the play of princes and princesses gives the mood a lift. Aurora dons a crown, a precious plastic thing, and commands the living room like a truly noble king or queen. Kiev the tabby is her tiger, fierce and bold, guarding a hoard of imaginary Bulgarian gold. The light at the end of the tunnel, Aurora cries with glee, "I shall liberate this kingdom and set the people free." The house is a castle, the carpet is a moat, as she wraps a royal blanket round her Sunday coat. Arthur is released, for his penance is complete, though he's wary and reluctant to admit his own defeat. He joins the royal drama, a prince of high renown, though he's forbidden from wearing the actual crown. Harlow the Dalmatian is his faithful spotted steed, helping him to perform a truly heroic deed. "Onward, Harlow!" he shouts, a manual for fun, as they chase the invisible shadows until the day is done. The bickering has ceased, the dispute is finally dead, as thoughts of royal glory fill every little head. Aunt Sasha is loquacious as she cooks a noodle feast, using a recipe she brought from the mountains in the east. The steam rises up like a ghost from the pot, whether the children are hungry or whether they are not. "Arthur, come and eat," she calls with an insistent tone. But Arthur makes a sound that's a very loud groan. "I object to noodles," he declares with a frown, as his royal excitement begins to simmer down. "They're strange and they're wiggly," he continues to protest, putting Sasha's culinary patience to the ultimate test. The sun has vacated the cold November sky, and the monstrous moon is hanging very high. Crack, pop, fizz. The fireworks finally ignite, shattering the silence of the Essex Sunday night. Uncle Billy and Petar stand by the garden gate, watching the explosions that are notoriously great. Look at the colors. Aurora screams with delight, as a fountain of sparkles turns the garden bright. The sky is a canvas of crimson and gold, a story of fire that's ancient and old. The day has reached the penultimate hour of rest, as the children are put to the ultimate sleep test. Maria and Petar stand by the bedroom door, feeling more grateful than they ever did before. The house is on borrowed time, the future is obscure, but the love of the family is steadfast and pure. "Lekanosht," Maria whispers, a blessing for the night, as she turns off the lamp and its yellow warm light. "Obichamte," Petar adds, with a heart full of pride, as the Petrova family feels safe and warm inside.